And I've really felt the presence of God with me throughout this entire time. I felt Him convict me of righteousness, to convict me of purity. And over my time here, I've been able to experience what it means to go from death to life. My mom, she got pregnant with me at 19. My biological father, he was in prison, so he didn't know that my mom was pregnant. And we moved to Illinois with my grandparents, and I was born there. My mom, she met a man named Brett, and he became my father. He was the most amazing father I had ever had, but when I turned 8 years old, he committed suicide. He struggled pretty heavy with depression, and nobody knew about it. It was pretty hard for my family. It felt like as I had lost my dad, I had also lost my mom. My mom fell into a deep drug addiction. There was no stability in my house. Me and my siblings, we were in and out of the foster system. We would go from my grandparents' house to my mom's house to my grandparents' house, and that was pretty often for us. Me and my siblings, we saw a lot of drugs. We saw a lot of parties. We saw a lot of abuse, and it really affected us. It affected our childhoods. It affected the way that we interacted with people. Parents wouldn't allow their kids to be friends with us, so really all we had was each other. Suddenly one day, my mom went off to prison. She had got arrested and she gave up her rights, and we didn't know, which means that she no longer was the legal guardian of me and my siblings. My grandparents, they had asked us if we wanted to get adopted, and we had said yes. We longed for a loving home. We longed for stability and safety, and my grandparents were able to provide that for us. Because my mom wasn't always so present in our lives, and I was the oldest, I had to take the responsibility of taking care of my siblings, which led to me caring more about what my siblings were needing than what I was needing for myself. When my grandparents took the responsibility as being parents, it took that burden off my shoulder, and I was able to feel everything at once, and it took me into a deep place of depression. Because of all of the emotions that I was now experiencing, it took me into a place of trying to fill the void because I didn't want to feel like this. For so long I had felt nothing. I was trying to be strong, I was trying to be courageous, and now it came to a place where I was scared and empty, and I realized how broken I actually was. I started partying really heavily. I got addicted to drinking and porn, and I got addicted to a lot of things that a normal teenager shouldn't get addicted to. So one day, something really extremely difficult happened with my family. I started to become very suicidal, and so I tried to commit suicide a couple times, and I ended up in the mental hospital. I would say that season of my life was probably one of the darkest seasons. I was walking through a lot of grief, a lot of heartache. I was walking through a lot of addiction, and I just couldn't seem to find my way. And one day, my grandma, she sat me down, and she had said that she really felt like the Lord was speaking to her to move to Louisiana. It was my senior year of high school. I didn't want to go, but my grandma had decided it was best for us. So we all packed up, and we moved to Louisiana. So we started going to this church. The first time I had ever gone there, I was becoming curious about who Jesus was. This youth pastor at the church, he had asked me if I wanted to go to YFN, Youth for the Nations. I was 18, just graduated high school. Honestly, I didn't really want to go, but my sister, who I did everything with, said that she was gonna go, so I decided that I was gonna go. So the first 2 days, I was in the worship services, I was raising my hands, but I didn't have that encounter with the Lord until Wednesday night. The preacher came, and we were all just standing at the altar. The presence of God was there, and he had prophesied over me. He had prophesied things that I had never told anybody, things that I longed for, things that I needed. And so after he had prophesied over me, I went back to my seat and I said, okay, God, if you are real and you want to do something with my life, I'll give you my life, but you have to prove that you're real. So after that, immediately I gave my life to Jesus, and I was baptized in the Spirit with utterance of speaking in tongues, and I knew that it was real. Right after, I felt him say very clearly to me, daughter, you will come and you will serve me here at CFNI. I had never read my Bible. I didn't know that I could have a relationship with Jesus. Through my surrenderance, the Lord has been able to utilize my life to be a testimony to my family. Early on in my time at CFNI, the Lord had revealed to me that He had given me the mantle to go before my siblings to break the generational curses and bondage that the enemy had placed over our lives. Because if He could do it with me, He could do it with them. My whole first year, I spent trying to figure out who God was. Who is God to me? Who am I in God? And it was really tough. I had to let go of myself. I had to let go of these strongholds I had built in my mind that I didn't know that I had for the past 18 years of my life. But as I have gone through CFNI, I have really, really felt the presence and power of God. My first semester, I was delivered from everything. It was a miraculous power and a miraculous experience that me and the Lord had. And I've really felt the presence of God with me throughout this entire time. I felt Him convict me of righteousness, to convict me of purity. And over my time here, I've been able to experience what it means to go from death to life. If the Lord is calling you to CFNI, but you're not feeling worthy of that call, just show up. Something that I've learned in my life is that when I show up, God is always there. He's always present. The Lord sent His one and only Son to die on the cross for you. He knew every sin. He knew every lie. He knew every burden that you would carry, and He still said, yes, why can't you?